every young person from all over the world. I'm sending you this special message on the occasion of International Youth Day 2020. The concept of International Youth Day, IYD, was started in 1991 by the youth in Vienna and Austria during a conference that was held in 1991 at the first official UN's World Youth Council. It is now a custom that every year on the 12th of August there's a celebration whereby the contributions that the youth make in their respective communities and in the world as a whole are being celebrated during this International Youth Day. However, this year 2020, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the celebration are going to be quite different from how they are usually done. So it does not matter whether there is a pandemic or there is no pandemic. What matters is youth participation, youth contribution in their different environments, in their different communities, in the world as a whole need to be celebrated. Which is why the theme for this year is youth engagement and global participation. The topic for this year is political participation and peace building processes. So you'd remember that in 2015, as a way to engage young women and men as young leaders and partakers, the Historic Security Council Resolution 2250 was adopted. And this resolution reaffirms the need for participation of youth in building peace and also in prevention of any other conflicts that are likely to arise in their different environments. As someone who aspires to be a UN Youth Envoy Secretary General at some point, my biggest desire is to see the youth being involved, to see the youth, participating in anything big or small that affects them. I'm talking about youth worldwide because I'm a global citizen, and for me, when I speak about the youth, I'm speaking about youth. I'm not the kind of person who only considers a certain group of young people from a certain corner of the universe. I speak on behalf of every young person from all over the world, from every angle and every corner of this globe. Notwithstanding these pressures or these effects that the youth are faced with, despite them being faced with high unemployment all over the world, despite them not having access to healthcare services, and also the effects that come with some of the bad or faulty governances in their respective countries. This calls for the youth to be included. And as someone who looks forward to at some point be the UN Youth Envoy Secretary General, I believe that it is our generation that must play an instrumental role in building bridges, between our respective communities as a way to bring national reconciliation and prevention of conflict. It is my belief that governments must play a role in building avenues that will allow the youth to participate in conflict prevention, in promotion of social cohesion, whereby the youth can be able to be fully prepared and ripe enough to participate in the globe or to be engaged. As a young person, I want to remind you, fellow youth, that our fountain as the youth is in our creative minds, is in our talents and our abilities. Therefore, we have to use these resources, these tools bestowed in us to improve our livelihoods and also to improve the livelihoods of those who are around us. If we can put this principle into practice as young people, then we can surely defeat age. Just as Aristotle once said that good habits that are formed during the youth make all the difference. So it is upon us as young people to ensure that we become the kind of people who work day in and day out to make a difference in the world. Because youth is a very beautiful stage of life. However, it only comes once in a lifetime. Once you cross that 35 age, you never come back. You never go back. I want you to note that in your youth, if you do not take any risks, in life. You will have your self-esteem to lose. But if you take risks as a young person, you absolutely have nothing to lose. Instead, you build opportunities for yourself. You build a name for yourself. I want you to realize that it does not help to be a passive participant in issues that affect you and your future. It's about time you have a say in conversations, in matters, in subject matters that affect you and your future. Just as Kat Conan would say, it is our duty as young people to challenge corruption in our systems, in our respective countries. Because as the youth, we have the voice, we are powerful, and our voices must be heard all the times. Our voices must not just be disregarded all the times. They must be heard because we are the present, but most importantly, we carry the future. Therefore, it is mine and your responsibility as young people to create the future as we want it. Nobody is going to do it for us. Our presidents, our leaders all over the world, most of them in 2 decades, they'll not even be in this planet. And if you do not participate in making the future that you want for yourself and for the future generations, then you are accountable. Then you've also played a role in the effectiveness or ineffectiveness of our systems at that time. As one of my favorite youth leaders, the young lady that I esteem very much, my sister and my leader, Gigi Paladi, would say, the youth are still seen as spectators and are not given an opportunity to play a key role in Africa's transformation. That's the whole truth. As the youth, we must admit that the remnants of poor leadership in our respective countries, especially in Africa, still prevail. But we must know that as young people, Africa is the most youthful continent. Africa is the most youthful continent, and as the youth, we have the power to make the change that we desire. We have the power to bring the transformation that we want. Even though there's deprivation of inclusiveness of the youth in most of our different countries and governments, we must bear in mind that as the youth, what is very important is our own resolution to succeed, even if we are not recognized. We must strive to be the best that we can be, so that we can be worthy of recognition. Because believe me, when you're good, you're good. They may ignore you, they may act like they don't see you, but the universe is watching. The universe is beautiful. When you are doing what you do, when you are focused in your own resolutions to succeed, the universe has its own way of rewarding the hard work, the efforts, the dynamism, the tenacity that you put in that which you do, in that which you are passionate about, in the difference that you make in your country, in your respective community, and the world as a whole. We must realize that achieving the SDGs by year 2030 will only be a dream rather than a reality if youth participation is overlooked, because the youth are the ones that we can count on as the leaders in transforming our environments, our communities, and our future. The future is now, and you gotta enjoy your youth. You will never be younger than how young you are at this minute, at this second, at this point in time. Therefore, as a young person, know that youth is something that you can lose at any time. Therefore, use it to your fullest potential. Youth is a powerhouse. Youth is a pollen that spreads in the air and does not ask why. My fellow friends, young people, live every day of your life as if it's your last. Because one of these days, you would realize that you were right. My last message in this special episode is that to everyone who's watching this, let us all be united and dedicate more time, more commitment, more resources, and more support to the young people. Happy International Youth Day 2020. Peace.